All right, next question.
Hi guys, my name is Bailey, and the first comment is for Ashley, Cheez-Its. And the question I wanted to ask was, how was it working with the rest of the cast, like from the Volturi and stuff like that?
It was so much fun. The cast in the original in Twilight was great, and we all get along, and we all really like each other, so it's really, really fun to go to work every day. And then, yeah, there was a couple of new kids that came in, all of which were really talented actors, and actually all of us really got along, which I think is kind of unheard of with such a huge young cast. So it was really fun. I think, I learned a lot from working with all the different people.
All right, next question.
Hi, my name's Anthony. My question's for Taylor. I was just wondering, dude, can you teach me how you worked out and stuff, because I want to, get buff for my girl, and these love handles ain't working, bro, for real.
But you know what, actually, it does bring up a good point. Like, what kind of program did you have to go through, a regimen?
Well, obviously getting in the gym and finding a personal trainer to help me. But the thing that I found is I originally, just because I was getting in the gym and starting to eat a lot, I put on some weight, and then I randomly started losing weight, and I started freaking out. I'm like, where is all this weight that I was putting on going? And what I found was I was actually overworking myself. I was in the gym 6 to 7 days a week and doing like 2-a-days, and I was actually burning more calories than I was taking in. So that was my biggest problem, so I actually had to cut things back. And whenever I would break a sweat, my trainer would have me stop and relax. Kristen teases me about that on set a lot.
But don't freak out, you might burn a few too many calories.
But the hardest thing for me was eating. Eating constantly and good foods, but always.
Health tip, eat constantly. But you should give a shout out to Jordan, right? I mean, your trainer.
Yeah, my trainer, Jordan Yam, he's really, really talented, and he helped me a lot with this process. And he's always on set, shoving food in my mouth. I'll be talking to somebody. He comes up with a plate, and he's like, and he wakes me up in the morning. He's like, take this protein shake, and I'm like, dude, I'm sleeping. But yeah, I have a lot of people to thank.
Hi. First, I want to say thank you for coming to San Diego Comic-Con. There are literally thousands of people here that really needed you to come. My question is, how much have you guys prospered from everything? Does it make you stronger being Edward Cullen? And this is to everyone. Sorry about that.
It's kind of, no, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's just fun. You just go into it and your life, you're walking on the street, I mean, has a really bad analogy. You step on a little stone and then it just kind of flies away and you have no idea where it's going, and then you're just trying not to drown afterwards. And that's my life. That sounds really terrible.
That's really bizarre.
That doesn't really make any sense.
I would actually like to, I'm sure you'd much rather hear from the actors, but I would like to say one thing, which is that the last film that I made was recut by the studio, and my experience with it ended up being quite a terrible one. And this has been entirely different, both dealing with Summit and dealing with this young cast. And as much as they've said some very kind things about me, which I told them to, but it's been a tremendously rejuvenating process for me. I now remember how much fun it can be to make a film, and that really comes from the people that you work with.
Okay, let's do one more quick question, and then I gotta cut it off. So one more quick question.
My question is for Taylor. I'm 1/8
Paiute and 1/8 Cherokee Indian. And so you playing a Native American, have you learned anything about them or their cultures or any of their traditions?
Yes. For Twilight, I actually had the opportunity to have some Quileute Indians come to Portland, and I actually had the opportunity to have dinner with them and talk to them. And the main thing I was focusing on is I wanted to learn more about the kids my age and what they like to do in their free time. And I was expecting something really different, and I was expecting to have to change myself, you know, to be able to do that. But I asked this kid who looked around my age, I was like, so what do you do in your free time? What do you do for fun? And he's like, you know, I play basketball, I go to the beach. And I was like, what do you do at the beach? You throw the football around? He goes, no, I check out girls. I was like, it was really funny. So the interesting thing that I learned is that they're just like me. They do the same things I do.
Actually, Taylor...
Okay, let's X that. So yeah, it was awesome to have the opportunity to meet with them and learn more about their legends and stuff. And it was really great. I'm really thankful that they came down to Portland from Forks.
Taylor actually speaks some Quileute in New Moon. This is true.
It's true. I do get to say a Quileute line. I'm excited for you guys to hear it. It's kind of fun.
No, you'll have to wait. It's very important.
So before we wrap things up here, I do want to ask one more question to the whole panel, and maybe Chris, we can start with you and work our way down. I just was wondering if you could each kind of touch upon the increased size and scope of New Moon over the first movie.
Right. Well, I think one thing that was really important approaching this movie was to notice that its strengths lay in the intimate, emotional relationships between the characters. And not to let things get out of hand, to still know that it was a story about people. Even if they're vampires or werewolves, they're still people. And so, but the book expands massively from Bella's small world in Forks and to Italy and to the world of the Volturi, to the world of the werewolves in the forest. And the key thing was to keep that all coherent, faithful to the book, and to really try to make something grand and beautiful out of this book.
Rob?
Yeah, it was different doing this because of the aesthetic which Chris shows and stuff. I mean, I've always found that Edward, I mean, you know, his whole character is obviously a lot about restraint, and so I always found it quite difficult to think of how to incorporate movement or how to move as the character. And so it's really, it was, in New Moon it felt like a lot of the shots seem to be set up so I can have as little movement as possible, and it's kind of, and it actually really helped. And it's like I didn't have to, you know, drive. It was always camera movements that drove scenes. I just sounded like I'm making the cameras did everything.
You just basically want to expend as little energy as possible, as opposed to Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor can do all the energy and moving around and stuff. I can just stand there, literally everything.
But no, you got a good fight scene. There's a very good fight scene.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but I mean,
Taylor, I'm sorry, no, Rob, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, and also, yeah, and with the, because the difference with Catherine and the way Catherine's aesthetic and Chris's aesthetic change, Catherine is much, she used a lot of zoom and stuff, and it's a lot more handheld, and it's quite difficult to look like graceful when you're doing it. And in this, there's a lot more flowing camera movements and stuff, and so you can kind of, you know, it's a dance with the camera. So even the fight scene at the end, which I do, it seems it's all about, it's almost kind of balletic and stuff. So it kind of felt more right, I think.